This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. Glad you've joined us. This is the only show in the metro area that talks about real estate and construction, business expansion, really anything related to Omaha becoming bigger, more vibrant, more prosperous. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my co-host, legendary real estate deal maker in the flesh, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning to you.
Happy Farmer's Day.
Is it Farmer's Day?
Yes, it is Farmer's Day. I don't know if you guys knew that.
My father-in-law is a farmer.
Yeah, there you go.
In southwest Minnesota.
Now you know who to thank.
Well, I will do that. And, obviously agriculture is a big part of what we have going on
He'll
around
probably
here.
be like, what?
Yes, I'm sure he has no idea, but we'll appreciate it nonetheless. Hey, we have a restaurant review this week. All of our restaurant reviews are sponsored by All Makes, located about 25th and Farnham Street in beautiful downtown Omaha. The Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review sponsored by All Makes this week is Ude Lali, and Chris Corey reviews it. And I tell you what, I've not tried it yet, but after reading the review, I definitely want to.
Udalali has a great mission, but it's also got a great product, and it's where what was it, Mark's?
Yeah, Mark's Bistro.
Mark's Bistro was, and they have some of the products. I think it was the chicken lasagna or something like that. And
well, I think they were famous for the lobster mac and cheese.
That too.
When it was Mark's, and that has survived. And then there's a real cool place on the lower level called La Beau, and I pronounced that right, La Beau. And everything, it's fantastic. And the mission is to rehabilitate and help former prisoners get re-entered into society and restart their careers in a very healthy way. And from all indications, as a guy who hasn't tried it but who read the review, they're doing a great job of it. And the place really stands on its own merit.
And I like to help out our listeners. Just so you know, I learned the hard way that when you're dining at Udalali, they don't have name tags or what they're in for or anything like that. So whatever you do, don't say what were you in for. And
probably a good question to avoid.
I kid.
Let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Been in the business for more than 30 years. If you want to stop by their office, 114th and Davenport, easy to find, or just go to eaglemortgagecompany.com. Doesn't matter whether you're looking for a conventional FHA, VA loan. They do some of the specialty loans as well. The most important thing is they take good care of you. Very, very client-focused. And as a mortgage broker, they're not a bank. They're not beholden to one bank. They can shop the market and find the best lending situation for you. So if you're thinking about buying a house, one of the first things you want to do is contact Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com.
I don't know about you, Jeff, but my neighborhood, it seems like more neighbors are moving out. And I don't know if it's just me, but there's more signs that go up. I don't know if the rates are coming down.
I have not noticed that in my neighborhood, so it could be just kind of a quirk of one neighborhood at one time.
The mean streets of West Omaha.
You never know, but I do know that while mid to late fall tends to be a slower time for residential moves, it's not a bad time, and sometimes it's good to be counter-cyclical a little bit when you're making decisions.
I'm very excited. Cheers to the crew. Kudos. That the expansion of 168th Street from Center Street to Q Street, it's going great.
Yeah, it's supposed to be done by the end of the year, and really there's only one segment of pavement that remains, and they already have the rebar in place for it. It looks
pouring
like
it today.
Were they pouring it already today? Okay. Well, there's another big project happening today, and that is an extension of the tower crane over the Mutual of Omaha future headquarters site. That thing will go up by another 100 feet today. And I wanted to go by this morning to maybe catch it in action so we could have a good photo for Grow Omaha project of the day. And this morning before the show, they weren't quite ready. They had the 5 20-foot segments there, and it looks like they should be extending that at any time.
Our friend Brad Williams watches that closely.
Hopefully you'll get a photograph. Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium is raising money for a 32,000 square foot veterinary hospital. It'll be located near the Asian Highlands exhibit. No date has been announced publicly for the start of construction. Current hospital is 30 years old. This one at 32,000 square feet would be pretty impressive size. And it's my understanding that in addition to medical care, veterinary care, there would also be some meeting space and education space and this sort of thing.
Just like humans, the animals are getting bigger.
Mayor Stothert, U.S. Congressman Don Bacon, and members of the Blackstone Business Improvement District yesterday held an announcement for the Harney Streetscape Plan. This will be an effort to really not only make Harney Street more attractive, but more importantly, make it safer and more pedestrian focused. Part of this was a $2 million federal community funding project grant. It also requires a $500,000 local match, which the Blackstone District or Business Improvement District is working on and doing fundraising for. But the idea here, Trenton, is to reduce traffic speeds, better traffic signals, wider sidewalks, and then while Harney will remain one way, it's going to go from 3 lanes one direction to 2. And they refer to this as a road diet. Have you heard that phrase?
No,
okay.
I've heard of food deserts.
A road diet. And we've seen some road diets in Omaha lately. This is where you take a street and you put it on a diet. It gets a little thinner. And a classic case of a road diet was Harney Street a couple years ago through the Blackstone District. That had been 3 lanes west, one-way west. People would go way too fast through there if you wanted to create this really cool mixed-use walkable district that we have right now. So instead, they put in a turn lane, 1 lane of traffic each way, parallel parking. It's a road diet. And you don't want to do this everywhere because some places you need traffic to move very quickly.
You'll get a bottleneck.
Exactly. But if you are trying to create a special place where people feel very comfortable walking and you have people getting a beer and walking with an ice cream and going and all that sort of thing, a road diet like what they're talking about Harney, it makes a lot of sense.
And I've got a building for sale right at 2909 Harney, the EB and Sons painting, about 4,000 square feet. If anybody's looking to buy a building, maybe a man or woman cave or a person cave, right there by the on-ramp. So it'll be interesting to see what Harney does. They've closed the bike path in order to do the construction for the streetcar.
Yeah, long-term plan, though, the bike path will come back, and it will run on Harney Street from 10th to 17th. Then at 17th, it'll jog a block north and then go out the rest of the way to the Med Center area via Farnham Street. But anyway, that whole corridor is on its way, I don't think it's a stretch to say this, toward becoming the coolest corridor in the city, period. Like when you think about a few years from now, you'll have the streetcar there, mostly on Farnham, but in the downtown proper, it'll also be partly on the Harney corridor as well. But you'll have that there. And already, like I was just walking, I had a lunch meeting on Farnham Street in the Blackstone District this week. And after lunch, I took a long walk. I walked down to the Med Center West Campus, then back east all the way to Midtown Crossing, just did a big long loop. And you can already see all that activity there in so many places, but you ain't seen nothing yet because you're going to have so much more going into that area. And I think it'll be kind of this long linear path of activity, probably, day and night.
I just saw that 25th and Farnham, right next to Olmecs, is Site One Brewing that now has Backlot Pizza.
Yeah, so the owners of Backlot Pizza and the ACX 12 Theater, Exarban Cinema, the Barstow family, friends of ours, they have invested in that business, and Site One Brewing is definitely back up and running. 2566 Farnham Street, if we want to be specific. Yep. And then the Barstow family and the existing owners of that business have some good plans for expansion.
Very excited about that.
Well, we had some big news coming out of Midtown. We were just talking about the Harney Street streetscape project, but also we now have a name for the 30-acre district that the University of Nebraska Medical Center is developing primarily west of Saddle Creek Road. It's called the Edge District, and the E, D, G, and E and Edge all stand for things that we don't necessarily need to get into, but this is a very, very special thing that is happening there. Already a few projects are well underway. The catalyst is the redevelopment of the former Omaha Steel Castings plant that goes back to 1906. That's 170,000 square feet. And then we have steel beams going up for the Campus Operations and Research Excellence building. This is right on the corner of Farnham and Saddle Creek. That'll be part administrative, part laboratory. And then finally, a 750-stall parking garage is now underway in that area. But there's going to be an awful lot more than just those three buildings.
Are they still doing the grassy walkway?
Oh, you're talking about the lid over. Yeah. That's a long-term possibility, but not in any of the concrete plans right now. So the $2.2 billion hospital, which will be probably one of the tallest buildings in the city, and by square footage, maybe the biggest building by square footage, unless there's some warehouse somewhere that's bigger, a couple million feet. But that'll all be on the southeast corner. And then they're using a series of skywalks, attractive, but nothing like the that whole idea
now,
of the
lid. Is
lid.
that part of the next project, or is it the precursor to the next project?
It's all part of it. They're calling the hospital right now Project Health, but basically, if you look at a rendering, and we put this on the Grow Omaha website and social media, you see probably, if you count them, 10 buildings on the rendering that don't yet exist. So the plans are enough to make you dizzy. There's so much planned for that area. But I think, getting this project named and draws a little more attention to it, and it'll move forward. Also, one other thing that was kind of fun to mention, WWT ran an article within the last couple of days about the building that housed Rathskeller Beer House. Uh-huh. Okay, so Rathskeller unfortunately closed. They had a hard time with all that
also
construction.
Three Cheers.
Yeah, it was Three Cheers back in the day. That goes back. Yeah, that goes back to our youth. But anyway, Rath House, sadly, it's gone because it was a great place to get German beers, and I used to love going there. But the building of Rathskeller goes back to 1891. And according to Preserve Omaha, is very historically significant. There are only 4 or 5 buildings in town that meet whatever criteria or category it happens to reside in. Anyway, the Med Center plans to keep that. And if you look at the renderings, you see like 4 to 6 story buildings all over that area, and the little Rathskeller Beer House.
What do they want to do with it?
Keep it as a restaurant bar. You're going to have, already the Med Center is the biggest concentration of jobs in the state. And now we're adding a whole bunch of residents to the campus. And so you need to have those amenities there, and it probably makes sense. Plus, it's historically significant.
As long as they do a good job wayfinding. If you use one of those hospitals or something like that, you need to know where to go.
Well, yeah, because it certainly is a labyrinth. But I would say they do a pretty good job with that, both in the building and for drivers outside. But they'll need even more of it. Well, that's your news of the week, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. We're going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to bring on former Union Pacific CEO Lance Fritz. He is the chair of Building Omaha's Future, a committee that is working on 6 bond issues that appear on your November 5th ballot. Really important stuff. We're going to talk about that, including plans to expand the CHI Health Center Omaha and a few other things with Lance. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
So you've got so not just the convention center, but you have all the road and the public safety and all those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have public safety, parks and rec, sewer, street, transportation, and convention center.
All told, I think it's about 370 million, 330 million. And it unlocks, the roads unlocks about 80 million of Fed funds.
Good.
And the convention center unlocks about 100 million of local philanthropic.
Okay.
So the bond is for 100 million to the convention center. The project's 200 million.
Wow.
Yeah. And it adds 98,000 square feet of
Mike
meeting
Walsh,
space.
in 1987, Mike Walsh said that his budget was $4 billion.
Oh, it's way bigger today. That's chump change.
That's cute.
That's cute. That was a cute little
That was a
business.
cute little budget
What
he
was
had
it when
back
you
then.
left?
Yeah, so the revenue base was about 25 billion. We earned about 9 billion in operating income, so about 16 billion in expense of all kinds.
Wow.
Our payroll was all in maybe 6 billion, maybe a little less.
Tell me why.
Yeah, it's real numbers.
Yeah.
First dollar goes to pay people,
Yeah.
and we have great jobs. Our average pay, the SEC requires you to do a median employee compared to the CEO.
Right.
It was originally instituted to kind of embarrass CEO pay, if you will.
Right.
Our average employee, our median employee is like probably over 100K today.
Yeah.
Really?
When I last left, it was like 90 something. I bet today it's 100, 102, 105K. And you can get that with a GED.
Yeah.
I mean, we have middle class jobs for
Good
sure.
enough degree.
Yeah, 100%.
Engineers make really good compensation. don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the median. I mean, you could be running trains and be a real kind of earnings hog and probably earn 140,
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah. Collecting if you if you do
Overtime.
as many routes as you can. Yeah.
Big mile runs.
Yeah. It's
It's great.
Did it
It's
make
great
any
work.
difference that Berkshire Hathaway owns Burlington Northern Santa Fe?
What's that?
By Berkshire Hathaway owning BNSF and
I don't know
UP
why it's
being
there. I'm guessing
based here, was there ever any conflict? Or?
Oh, no. I used to talk to Warren probably every year or 6 months, just casually. I'm very pleased he did not buy us. So our market cap today is about 150 billion. When he bought Berkshire Hathaway, we were trading at about the same level. And then our market cap was maybe 20 billion, 20 and a kicker. So our shareholders enjoyed a seven-fold increase. That's not what BNSF shareholders enjoy. Berkshire Hathaway's done great,
30 seconds.
but in the last 12, 14 years, they didn't increase sevenfold.
True.
So good for our shareholders that we did.
yeah. Absolutely.
Did you know little 21 publicly traded U.S. airlines, Delta, United, etc. UP's more valuable than all of them combined by about 30 billion.
Really?
You see your 125 billion?
We're 150. All combined, they're about 120.
Really? I got United and
Everybody.
and Delta.
We're
go.
twice as valuable as FedEx.
But will the government bail you out like they bailed them out?
We don't need it. We don't want it.
You help to get your starts up.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Magid. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Dingman's is the company you want to keep in mind if you get a little bit of a fender bender, scratch, bump, or even something more serious from a major accident. They take really good care of you, and they have 4 metro area locations. Everything is overseen personally by the Dingman family. Trenton and I know them very well, have a lot of respect for them, and strongly recommend you choose Dingman's Collision Center if you need any auto
They have a
body
big
work.
announcement coming up.
Yeah, they do.
They haven't been authorized yet, but they're going to have a new location, I bet.
A 5th location. Yeah.
Sure.
Someone here represents them. All right, we have with us former Union Pacific CEO Lance Fritz, who is currently leading the Building Omaha's Future Committee, and we want to talk a little bit with Lance about 6 bond issues that will appear on your November 5th ballot. First of all, Lance, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Jeff and Trenton, thank you very much for hosting me. This is a great opportunity for us.
Well, thank you. It's an honor for us, too, and we appreciate you working with the Chamber and other partners and stakeholders in the committee for this effort to get these bond issues. And maybe the best way to start is for you to kind of give us the 30,000-foot view of what will appear on the ballot.
Yeah, so November 5th, voters are going to see 6 bond issues that we are asking them to approve. The bond issues fund all kinds of different projects in Omaha, from enhancing parks to enhancing sewers and flood control to continuing the work on improving streets that started in 2020, to building new street projects, to building a new downtown combined fire and police station, buying new emergency equipment for emergency responders, and enhancing and growing the CHI Health Center. It's really important to note that these are normal course of business bonds. The city needs to float bonds to match capital availability with big capital projects. That doesn't happen with tax receipts, right? Tax receipts come in, based on timing of people paying them. Projects happen when you need to make projects happen. So these happen normal course. City goes out and does them about every 4 years, and this just happens to be the time. This has nothing to do with tax. This will not change people's taxes in any way. This is just a city being able to fundamentally fund its projects.
And so the citizens, the voters vote for this, that we approve these, let's say, which I think will happen, and thank you for coming on. And these projects, a lot of these, like the CHI Center, Health Center, actually brings in revenue. And this is to get more events and more people bringing their conventions and everything else here, right?
Yeah, Trenton, the CHI Health Center is a real jewel. And it was wonderful when it was first constructed. Very competitive with cities like, Des Moines or Minneapolis or, name it, Kansas City. Because other cities have invested over time in the last, call it, couple of decades since the CHI has been in place, we've fallen a bit behind. And now we're not as competitive in attracting conventions and events. So what we're proposing is to enhance meeting space. It puts us back, middle of the pack, top, call it third of the pack, so that we can attract what we think is about another $1.2 billion in convention business in the next 10 years. And that has great tax flow into the city.
So, Lance, some people might say, hey, we hear that Mecca and the CHI Health Center Omaha support itself, and there's even a surplus with operating budget. If that's the case, why do we need to have a bond issue to expand it? Can you explain that to folks? It's
a great question, Jeff, and I think it is confusing to some voters. The CHI Health Center is owned by the city. It's run by Mecca, and it does provide money back into the city's coffers. But it doesn't have the wherewithal, and Mecca can't float bonds on its own account. So when they do a big capital project like this one, they need the city to float the bond so the project can happen. And then after the expansion, the increased dollars flow back to the city.
And this is about $110 million for this one, or how big is it?
Well, the bond is asking for $100 million. It's going to be matched by $100 million of philanthropic money. So the whole project is private money.
Stakeholders' money, which Omaha is very well known for.
100%.
Okay. And globally, these projects will unlock a lot of other federal money and other philanthropists to step forward, right?
Yeah. So, for instance,
not only does it not raise taxes.
Yeah, right. But the street bond is looking for the neighborhood of $80 million to do some street projects. That unlocks federal funds. The federal funds are not available unless there's a local match contributed to make the project to go.
Great.
So going back to the CHI Health Center Omaha, assuming everything goes well and the bonds pass and the $100 million in philanthropic funds materialize, what are we seeing for that project? I mean, when do you think it might get started? And
yeah, great question. So that'll be all up to Mecca and the city in terms of the timing. I know Mecca would like to get it done sooner as opposed to later, because what happens in that industry is event planners are looking out, a year, 2, 3 years. And so every year that goes by, every quarter that goes by that CHI Health Center doesn't meet the needs of event planners is a year and 2 years from now missed business. So we need to get that in place as soon as we can.
So two of the bonds, one is street preservation at $72 million and another is transportation at about $81 million. What would be the difference between street preservation and transportation? Because it's all transportation.
Yeah, street preservation continues the projects that were started in 2020. Remember, that was an initiative by Mayor Stothert to
$200 million.
To enhance and improve our city streets. This is the continued iteration of that. And I know that can be, frustrating to drivers to see all the construction that's underway. The end result's fabulous.
Right. I can't wait.
Yeah, all the streets that are completed, they're fabulous. They work wonderfully.
Well, and we have to realize too, Lance, that this is a city that's growing faster than it historically did. And there's a lot of activity here, and you have to expand the infrastructure if you're going to have that growth.
100%. You have to invest capital in order to enable growth. The other street initiatives are new projects, building new things, a new bridge, et cetera.
Okay, so if someone wants to learn more specifics about the 6 bond issues, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, best way to go is buildingomahafuture.com. buildingomahafuture.com. You go there, you'll see in very plain language exactly what's being asked through the bonds. You can ask questions. There's a phone number. There's also a chat that you can get into if you want to be more informed, things that you don't see. I can't say enough that these are critically important to the city, and I'm encouraging every voter to vote yes on them, understanding it won't do a thing to your taxes, and it enables projects that continue to make Omaha safe and fun and thriving and growing.
And no matter where you live and what you do, you'll benefit from these.
100%. It really doesn't matter what neighborhood you're in. North Omaha, South Omaha, West Omaha, middle of the city, there's something in these for everybody. Even CHI Health Center. You might be in West O thinking, what the hell does that do for me? What it does for you is it enhances the ability for Omaha to attract business, increase tax revenue, and that lowers the burden on all of us.
And increases our quality of life. And Lance, we really appreciate your leadership in this effort. And thank you for joining us this morning. Just to kind of give us an overview of what this is all about.
Yeah, well, so it's in the wheelhouse, ultimately, of your radio show, right? Grow Omaha.
Right.
These bond issues are all about growing Omaha. This effort is about making a November ballot a little less scary and a little less complex for voters. Because it's a big ballot, and we recognize that.
And just so everybody knows, just because there's a couple initiatives about medical marijuana use and things like that, that has nothing to do with Grow Omaha. and if they ever legalize marijuana, we are not selling the name. So growomaha.com is untouchable, at least for the unforeseeable future.
I think he says that because when we first founded the show 21 years ago, there was a Grow America that was like some pro-marijuana side. But anyway, not to be on too big of a tangent, Lance, Fritz, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, guys. It's a real pleasure.
That's former Union Pacific CEO and chairman of Building Omaha's Future, Lance Fritz. Going to take our middle of the show break for the news. And when we come back, we have our Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight and a few more news items for you. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Are you a Porsche guy?
Thank you, sir. That was really well done.
Did you see it?
Yeah, what do you got?
I got a Targa out front.
That's nice.
It is beautiful. It's a 4S, just a wonderful car. It's about 6 years old. It's only got about 6,000 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
And I think next year I'm going to pull the trigger on replacing it with a convertible, a cabriolet, because I've not owned one of those on one.
What's your daily driver?
It's a Porsche Panamera Grand Touring, so it's like a wagon.
You
It's
like
like
their
a
new
Porsche
building?
wagon. Yeah, I love it. Did you know they have enough space? Like this massive storm that happened at the end of July, they can fit every car in the building.
Oh, really?
Every car on the lot can be in the building.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a basement. When you go into that
Warehouse is
downstairs,
not shy.
it's well done. They do a good job there.
Check out my car to the right.
What do you got?
Rolls Royce Wraith.
Wow.
It's used, but it's
Yeah.
in great shape. You know what the term Wraith is?
No.
It's right before someone dies or right after they die. It's their image because they have the ghost and they
Yeah,
the
I didn't
phantom,
realize
stuff like
that.
Yeah.
So that thematically, they're all about death.
Like, Carol?
Be careful with that.
I know. That car is so heavy,
Oh,
and some of the reasons I like those in Bentleys and stuff.
Yeah.
2 doors. They're over 6,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Gross vehicle weight. So
Yeah.
that means you get accelerated depreciation in 1 year. It's like I bought a dump truck for my
oh, I didn't know that.
my professional corporation.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you set up I don't know if it has to be a PC or
An
what,
LLC or
whatever
something.
it is. And just so they want to get people to buy tractors and cranes and everything else.
But it goes by GVW.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's so it's a two-door cars, and I have a BMW X5 as my daily driver.
Yeah.
And that I've had 8 of those, and that always qualifies for it.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I'm learning something every day. All right, gentlemen.
Appreciate
Trenton,
it.
it was a pleasure, buddy.
Glad we
Jeff,
know you.
likewise.
Yeah, thanks for doing
and
this.
the Dingmans are good people. We went to a church, West Hills Presbyterian, a while back, and they were members there.
Oh, yeah?
They're good
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, so
we
Boyd,
enjoyed them.
I do a ton of
Yeah.
work with them, and Boyd and Diana sold out to Travis and
Sons.
Andy, yeah,
Cool.
and super nice people, good friends.
Yeah, they're good
They
people.
do good work.
All right, guys. Thanks
Thank
for your
you.
help.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, same to you.
Thank you so
Enjoy.
much.
Good to see you all.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Hey, can I just get out?
Yeah. It's just easy out, and then sorry about the maze though. There's a little bit of a gerbil. Yeah. Okay.
I got it.
It's easy, thanks.
Okay.
good.
Thanks, Lance. So in this segment, we'll do. I've got just basically some of the news items that were in the newsletter.
Yeah,
that
right.
we'll talk a little bit, and then
He reminds me of Mike Walsh.
Really?
Very assertive, very, like that CEO level is great.
Yeah, it's cool.
That was really cool.
So anyway, I was
News items.
news item, and then if we have time, we could touch on the tiff between McDonnell and Stothard if we have time. I don't want to get too political, but it is a significant story, and we do have to protect TIF in this town. And we do have to protect TIF for the streetcar. Es muy importante.
See, going on.
Boy, these hurricanes, crazy.
They should be able to use that clip. You remember who was that from outer space or whatever?
Yeah,
You should
booked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Orlando.
Well, once he makes the clip and
That's right over
you
him.
send it to him and say, hey,
He
That'll
didn't
give
lose
us more
power,
power.
but a lot of his
Yeah.
neighbors
They
did.
love press.
Betsy Freeman or whatever it is, like she just keeps quoting our newsletter.
Thing around here. We're different.
Does she quote us very often? Or?
I've seen it twice.
Oh, okay.
That just it's like Girl Omaha,
Oh, okay.
whatever she calls it in its
Well, that's
newsletter.
good because we quote them too. We quote the World Herald.
Probably
Most issues of the newsletter, there's probably something where we quote the World Herald. Not all
Imagine
of
if we
them.
give those 21,000 people to give us $27.99 a month, like the World Herald.
Yeah, we'll never do it, people. Don't worry.
It's free.
Yeah.
Just like we won't sell the name. We won't sell it.
For a certain amount of money, we could always change our name.
Yeah. We grew Omaha beyond Omaha.
It's Grow Omaha, not Grow in Omaha.
Growing Omaha.
Grown Omaha.
All right, you better start buying a bunch of URLs related to Grow Omaha.
What about Below Omaha?
Below Omaha, there's double entendre there.
Ah,
Is
I'm in marketing. Is that because of the wind or snowplows the winter? Or?
It is a windy
Yes.
place.
Yes.
We do live in a windy part of the
Do you
country.
think our wind has picked up over the years? Like,
I am not a trained meteorologist.
I
don't know. But do you think it has?
uh,
Like this summer, other
I
than
think it's
those
gotten more
horrific
cold.
storms, other than the 3 or 4 horrific
well, it was
storms,
80 in October yesterday.
it wasn't a windy summer other than those storms. Like most days were just
Don't
normal.
worry though, it's going to feel like October in a couple days. So I just bought a bunch
I
of
love
grass seed to put down.
quintessential October.
Sweater weather?
It's actually been a little too hot for my liking lately. I like it to be like 65.
You like sweater weather?
I love winter weather. At one
Winter
point,
weather?
winter weather.
Oh, I hate winter weather. I
I was
love
gonna
fall
move-
weather.
When I was first getting into business, I was going to move to Alaska because I loved
Really?
the weather so much.
And being in dark places?
I don't mind it when it's
I could. Last
40.
good.
I don't mind it when it's 40 degrees, but if it gets below freezing, I don't like it.
I always wanted to go to Alaska, and I was like, yeah, I'll try for a job up there. And then I got hired at K-Hub in Fremont, and I said, well, I'll just stay here. So,
I can see if
Alaska. Yeah, same thing.
it was close to home,
Yeah.
and it was like,
Pretty much cold enough.
it's cold enough.
If you go up there, wear orange, okay? Just
Yeah, I guess I could.
kind of like a grizzly.
Well, that's the thing. I was joking with my dad, like, when I get old, I don't want to get, like, old and decrepit in a bed. So you ever seen that movie Legend of the Fall with Brad Pitt?
No.
So at the end of
I've
the
seen
movie,
every movie though.
at the end of the movie, he's on the run and he goes, as an old man, he goes and he fights a grizzly bear with like a Bowie knife. I was like, maybe I should do that when I turn 80 or something.
Good idea.
It'd be a good death, I think.
We'll see how it turns out for you.
Yeah.
You might want to take Amy to see. It's called Piece by Piece,
Okay.
and it's like a documentary on Pharrell Williams, the guy who did the song
Oh, really?
Happy. He's like a lot of other stuff too, but it's told as a Lego movie. It's actually really good.
Really?
Look,
If I ever hear the
when I
words
heard-
Lego movie,
And
I
documentary.
remember it reminds me of the longest 2 hours of my life.
It's not like that at all.
Okay.
It's not like that at all.
You didn't
It's
like the
a-
Lego movie?
I hated every second of that horrific movie.
It's the song "Everything Is Awesome."
Come
Oh
on.
my God!
That movie was great.
Not only did I want to shoot myself, I wanted to shoot everyone else in the theater by the time that movie was.
Hey,
Not that you would do that.
Not that I would do it. Oh God!
Definitely like a big theater shooting joke.
I wanted to shoot someone.
That'll
I
make
know
the
that.
uncut. Here we go.
Why didn't they cut that out?
Ah, leave it in.
We're all in this
I didn't
together.
do it.
We're gonna get
Right.
through it. And we're gonna be here through whatever
I'm
happens
distancing
next.
myself.
We are News Radio 1110, KFAB.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot are with you. We are in the KFAB studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center. You know, Cheer Athletics happens to be the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. All-star cheer 2028 Olympics, it's going to be part of the deal. It's an Olympic sport starting in 2028. Very athletic, and All-Star Cheer is a great way for kids to, be physically fit, learn all of the life skills that come with competition, and compete at a very high level. If you want to get
Gain
involved with that,
confidence.
what did you say, Trenton?
And gain confidence.
Confidence is a big part of the deal. And if you want to get your kids involved in cheer athletics, just go to caomaha.com. That's caomaha.com. All right, we got some cool news in your Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight of the week. We got a new restaurant coming to Exarban Village. But first, you should know that Noddle Companies is the premier real estate developer in town, but not just in town. They do work all over the country, headquartered here in Omaha. And in Omaha, they're famous for Exarban Village, the Builders District in North Downtown, big projects like that where Noddle Companies creates places and spaces. But they, done a lot of headquarters buildings. Valmont World headquarters, HDR World headquarters are two of the more recent ones they've done. But Noddle Companies really does outstanding work. And they're also very community focused, supporting the community and taking care of the city they love, Omaha. So you can find out more about them at noddlecompanies.com.
Mention Grow Omaha, and Noddle Companies will give you $10 off your next development over $3 million.
Yeah, they'll just bill it through to Trenton. So Crispy Burger is the news. Crispy Burger has opened next to Freezing Rolled Ice Cream at 1918 South 67th Street in Exarban Village. Now, the name is Crispy Burger, and they have burgers.
But it's a chicken place.
I say the name's a bit misleading because they're really famous for their crispy Asian fried chicken. And this is the first location anywhere in this part of the country. The other crispy burgers are in the New York City area, in the state of Vermont. There's one in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So this one's kind of the outlier out here away from the East Coast. I popped in last Sunday when I was doing my Grow Omaha driving tour. I had already had lunch, so unfortunately didn't get to try it, but I can tell you it smelled really good, and it's attached to freezing. And then, so this place this is the one that had the boba tea sign above it. And it's my understanding that boba tea will still be available in freezing ice cream or crispy burger, fried chicken. And anyway, give it a try. It's a cool place. I talked to the owner, nice guy, and looks like it'll be a nice addition to the Exarban lineup.
No, I'm excited for it. I'm also excited to try chicken over at the Trax Lounge. I am one of those people that have never been there.
Oh, really? Yeah, you'll have to do it now. Of course,
60th. You never take me. What was it? Did it used to be called Trackside?
Yeah, Trackside. Yeah, Trackside. Yeah, I remember going there as a
kid. But everybody
kid.
calls it Trax now.
Well, they changed the name. Okay. Yeah, they changed the name and different ownership, but yet Trax still says they've been around for 60 years. So I think they're counting those Trackside years. But great place, great fried chicken there, and they're opening a Western location next year, early next year, not far from 180th and Q. Got a couple other news items for you today, just to kind of have in the back of your mind. Omaha Christian Academy and Lifegate Christian School are teaming up to open a new Christian high school. It'll actually be in an office building. If you have been by I-680 and West Maple, you probably have noticed a 3 to 4 story building up on the hill southwest of the interchange. It's called the Emerald Building, very much a landmark. The actual address is 2425 North 108th Street. So basically southwest
That's who bought the building at the auction?
680 and West Maple Road. Don't know anything about that other than the fact that I don't know how they bought it or where they bought it, but they bought it. And they are also acquiring an adjoining 20 acres for athletic fields. So we're going to have a new high school. 2025 academic year, which is just less than a year from now. Plan is to open with 200 students and eventually grow it to 600. They do want to stay a Class B high school.
It'll be a high school.
That's right. I said high school. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that Class B is probably a good thing because there's been a lot of controversy in Class A football lately because you're getting some of these super schools like Millard South and West Side, and I think Bellevue West has been one of those with their football teams. And poor Lincoln High came up to Buell Stadium this week to play Millard South. They were down 63-0 at halftime and forfeited.
Really?
Yeah. Millard South and West Side are these schools like kids are coming from all over the metro area, and no one can touch these teams unless you're another one of these.
Is that a rule, like a 7-run rule or something? Or
no.
did they just chose to do it?
They chose to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure they had their good reasons, but some people are calling them quitters.
Well, that land next to Emerald Point for this new Christian school, that land was, I think, owned by CHI for a long time.
That's correct.
And so it'll be put to good use.
And then demolition is taking place, pretty much done, on 2 Midtown sites southwest of the Med Center. Workers have demolished a vacant laundromat on the southeast corner of 50th and Leavenworth to make way for a 4-story apartment building there with 53 units. And then not far away at Saddle Creek Road and Pacific Street, south of a Baker's Supermarket, if you can picture that in the area, demolition is wrapping up on a couple of commercial buildings there, real big apartment building with some commercial space going into that area. And with that, I think we better take our final break of the hour.
Yes, sir.
And you know what that means. When we come back, it's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a short period of time. I'm looking at the list, and there's a lot on it. So you don't want to miss it. Stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
That's it. All right. Use for that building.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I had heard.
It sold pretty inexpensively for that.
I heard almost a year ago they were thinking about turning it into a private high school. So people must have been working on that for a long time.
Yeah, but it went to an auction.
Really?
Okay, I didn't know that.
Scott Moore, maybe.
Is that today or is that?
No,
Scott did the auction.
I'm busy with it.
I know you are. You got a lot going on.
I saw Rocky 3.
You got a lot going on.
Oh, yeah?
When he was,
So I got to figure out what the spread is.
He was just a little kid. So
Yeah.
He's not boxing.
That was
What you want to do?
pre-WWE.
Did you notice that? I came up.
He was in
Yeah.
the
I
AWA.
let Brian really enjoy it right
Yeah,
till about
because
December
Rocky 3 was
29th.
like 1982.
That one year was like
He didn't become the Hulkster that we
$142.13.
took of until
And then I get a check on like this
Yeah.
January 2nd or something. It was months.
Yeah, and the movie
Could have been an
was-
even bigger margin.
The story about that is he was a part of the.
Could have been bigger.
The WWF. which
No, he
was
won.
and seen
He won.
5
Oh,
years ago. And he banned it and said that if you go do that movie, you're going to be
My mouse is
blackballed.
right here.
I said, oh, okay.
I didn't want
When
to.
he
I
did the movie, he
didn't.
was
I know where
in
that
the
shoe's
car,
probably
so-
been. Lots of
Why would he not want him to
bathrooms.
do it?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to control.
Bathrooms, casinos, strip clubs. Who knows
Because
where
he
that
was
shoe is?
a moron. That's why.
Yeah.
So Jeff, you gonna go see Hulk Hogan at Hy-Vee at 108th and Ford on Wednesday?
I'm probably going to be busy. Are you going?
No, I'm not going.
Hulk Hogan's coming where?
coming to Hy-Vee at 108th and Fort next Wednesday
For what?
to promote his Real American beer.
So he's going to some random Hy-Vee in Northwest Omaha.
And Oakview.
Oh, and Oakview.
Later in the day.
Wait, they're Oakview Mall?
Oakview Mall.
There's no one.
There's no beer there.
There's no one at Oakview Mall.
Well, there's some. Well, don't look at me, man. I just looked at the map. It's where the Oakview.
Well,
Let's like find the most.
Yeah, somewhere.
It's right there.
Let's find the most desolate place in town for him to go. I guess there'll be a lot of people at Oakview when Hulk comes.
There's a lot of people who go to the spirit store there, though.
Bring a hurting
Wine beer store.
Use subject.
Maybe he's going in there.
Zolda's
Oh,
quote.
here we go.
That behind every one of those orange cones is a little bit of progress.
All right there, ready to go for you.
Geez, Jim, that's a long promo you got there. All right, back to Grow Omaha. It's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a really short period of time. Thanks to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible. They are a full-service Class A general contractor. They serve the entire area, does Perkins Kreitzer Construction. Lincoln, Council Bluffs, up to Sioux City, out to North Platte, and environs. Do a great job. Dave Kreitzer, our buddy, runs the place, does an outstanding job. He has tons of experience in the business. And they do everything, from office buildings to retail centers to churches to warehouses. And we love talking about the restaurants they do because you may have noticed that one of the most frequent topics we have on the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round is new restaurant openings and some closings today. So we like to talk about some of the restaurant work they're doing. I drove by the old Boston Market in Miracle Hills yesterday, which Perkins Kreitzer Construction is renovating into an Hawaiian Brothers location. Work has already started.
That's a great product.
Yep, they had a big dumpster outside. There were workers coming in and out of the building. So PC Construction will be turning that dead Boston Market into a Hawaiian Brothers before you can even know it, before you can blink an eye. And you can find out more about Perkins Kreitzer Construction at p-cconstruction.com. Whew, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Jam's Old Market is going to temporarily move to the Mouth of the South space next door. Now,
Recently closed.
What was that?
You're about to say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mouth of the South closed rather suddenly. Now, just the old market location. They are keeping the West Omaha location
Which is
open.
good eating.
And especially that bread pudding.
Oh, my gosh.
But Jam's, the Jam space, which is right on the corner there of 11th and Harney, that is going to go through some extensive HVAC renovations. When that's done, Jam's will go back into their space from the Mouth of the South space, and that should happen in November. Early Bird has opened its location near 170-something and West Center Road. You want to know how I know?
Signs up?
No, I had breakfast there this morning.
How was it?
It was pretty good. That's
been a few different things. It was
most recently Tanner's,
and then it was Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
It was built out to be Famous Dave's.
Oh, that's right. I remember that was the Famous Dave's. I forgot about that. Anyway, it's an Early Bird now. Now we have another breakfast place that has opened not far from Early Bird on Far West Center, and that is Good Lookin'. It has opened at 16920 Wright Plaza, which is basically southwest of 168th and Center. It's in the former Austin's Steakhouse location. It is a breakfast and lunch restaurant. The original location is right here in downtown Dundee, 4919 Underwood, so there are now two of those. Trent, we have a Mexican restaurant coming to 142nd and Fort. The name is Casa Jalisco. It is in Standing Bear Plaza, family-owned restaurant set to open this fall. We do not yet have an exact opening date.
Is that where Foreign Taste was? Must be.
Maybe that is their space. Because I know Foreign Taste went out of business. A lot of people love that area because Dragon Walk is up there, and Dragon Walk's really popular. So, yeah, it's really close to Dragon Walk. It probably is Foreign Taste.
Yep.
Good call. We're going to just assume that's the truth until we find out otherwise. Wukong restaurant is going into the former Coco's Korean Fried Chicken space near Super Target at 180th and West Center Road. The restaurant will serve hot pot, hibachi, poke bowls, and desserts. Tentative opening date set in November. We have a new coffee shop coming to La Vista. It is called Las Chilenas. It will also be a bakery. The actual address is 8064 South 84th Street. The business describes itself as having a cozy atmosphere, delicious coffee options, and a variety of desserts and empanadas that will delight your palate.
I don't think you can hit 25% of the restaurants in your lifetime if you really try. Maybe Stacy Winters.
Stacy Winters could probably do it. Chris Corey could probably do it. He's the guy that reviews restaurants for us at Grow Omaha. All right, Gunderson's Jewelers has opened its big flagship store in Heartwood Preserve. The actual address is 102 North 145th Street. This is southwest of 144th and Dodge. This is a 25,000 square foot jewelry store.
You know what that means?
What does it mean?
That we have their 3,500 square foot temporary store at 132nd and Center for lease.
Oh, that's the place that
By Batteries
Gunderson's
Plus, yeah.
had been occupying between Village Point and the new center. Okay.
Beautiful space.
And you have that listed?
Yes.
Okay. Contact Trenton Maggin.
And John Meyer.
Trenton.maggin@npdodge.com. Anyway, this new Gunderson's, 25,000 square feet. It's a newly constructed two-story building. They consider this kind of their flagship location. It's just west of Charleston's and Mahogany in Heartwood Preserve. Gunderson's is based in Sioux City, Iowa. And this is, like Trenton just indicated, the relocated Village Point store.
Big Rolex dealer.
Izzy's Pizza has pulled out of its plans to open a second location in the former Nobby's building at Bel Air Plaza, 120th and Center. That building is being converted into prehistoric putt. Izzy's was going to be in there.
They backed up the bus.
And now they're not. Nothing bad. They just want to focus on their other businesses. All right, the music's playing, which means we are finito. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggin.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction, Cheer Athletics, and Dingman's Collision Center. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.